with that. And I think the Christians in Nigeria today are probably feeling pretty good about Donald Trump's position.
Thank you very much. Senator, you said the Christians in Nigeria today are probably feeling good about Donald Trump. So I'm a Christian from Nigeria.
You're an expert.
1 out of 100 million Christians, very small sample size. I do not feel good about Donald Trump. He called Nigeria a disgraced country. Frankly speaking, that's not so bad because he used to call us a shithole country. So it's a kind of improvement on disgraced countries is an improvement. Is there a better way, for instance, a decent way to offer help to someone? So if I looked at all the shoes on this panel, and you guys are wearing nice suits, everybody is wearing nice suits, but there's a differentiation of shoes. The senator's shoe is different. So if I was your friend, after this panel, I would buy you a gift, a nice shoe to match up with your suit. I wouldn't have to say anything about the state of your shoes that made me buy you those shoes. Is there a way that powerful countries can help less powerful countries, poor countries, without doing it in the way that leaves them worse off? For instance, America went to Libya. Libya has a causative effect on the terrorism challenges that Nigeria and the Sahel is facing. I don't want to talk about the other places America went to. Let's just stick it to Nigeria. Since Donald Trump said what he said for Nigerian Christians, Christians have been abducted in the church in the northwest of Nigeria.
Sure.
Muslim students have been abducted. I do not speak to the causation, but there's a correlation between Donald Trump, from the point Donald Trump spoke about Nigeria's challenges and the escalation of terrorism. So, decency apart, there are rules of engagement. There's a global rules order. There's a rules-based global order. Is there a way to speak about Nigeria, first of all, in a respectful, decent way, not even just as president of America, but as a human being? And much more so as the president of the United States of America, that I will always respect as a person, and frankly speaking, Nigerians continue to respect generally. Also, is there a way to help Nigeria? Because, for instance, one of the reasons why we failed woefully at fighting terrorism was because despite having the money, despite having the intention and the motivation to buy weapons from America for so many years, we were denied. Eventually, we got them, and for some of those weapons, they also told them where not to use those weapons. Yeah. So I'm just going to ask and sit down, is there a way to decently help Nigeria without making things worse and without disrespecting Nigerian Christians and Muslims?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I think that...
Great question. No doubt the answer to your question is certainly. And I want to address both things. First of all, the words do matter. They do. You were kind in suggesting, is there a way to do some things and not needing, to make things worse by the wrong words? The right words help. A more delicate way of saying something is obviously better than a more brutal way. That said, at the end of the day, a lot of people have promised things to Nigeria and several African nations. And by the way, once again, I point to my colleagues who are two of the biggest advocates for our relationship with Africa. And I won't go into all the ways that they do that or that we do it together. But the actions do matter. A lot of people will say the right thing and do the wrong thing. Other people will maybe say the wrong thing and mean to do the right thing. Is there a better way? Certainly. But one thing, your example is very specific and it's appropriate in your case. But you also touched on a larger issue. It's not just one country. It's not just one-on-one. There was an earlier panel, I forget which one, that got to the point of, and it might have even been Senator King, I don't remember, but one of the senators spoke to America's retreat. I think it might have been Tom Tillis, now I think of it, America's retreat from several areas, which has left them vulnerable to the predators, if you will, to China especially, and their predatory financing and behavior. There are lots of ways, and I think, for example, one of the areas where President Trump and I have disagreed quite openly is in the effective use of USAID. Those things need to be conformed, for sure. But when we talk about democracy, and I talk about the difference in the United States as being more self-governed, he is a reflection of the country. All of our democracies, democratically elected leaders are a reflection of their country. And that's the pastoral role they should play at the higher level. But at the governing level, I think, globally speaking, aid to friends and would-be friends and possible friends is a bargain compared to munitions. And I just think we need to be more directly engaged in your